Hello, everybody. What's up? What's going on? And welcome to the 51st episode of Raptors in One. Man. I want to talk about Malachi Flynn. He's one of those players, the Raptors picked him up. And I got to say, when we first picked him up and when I saw him play, I liked his game. I definitely saw potential for improvement. And I really, even now, I'm rooting for the guy. I really hope that, he can find his role, realize what the coach wants, and just go with it. I feel like the system that the Raptors have right now, it's he can't thrive in it. And again, that's just my opinion. That's from what I've seen, again, from the last season. Going into this season, hopefully he's put in the work, and hopefully I know like Rico Hines, he's gonna work with him, and he can probably improve him. I see those Rico Hines runs almost every day. I gotta say, it's there's some potential there, but then you see how he's performing in the pro-ams. Sometimes he's like, I think the crossover, it was the crossover pro-am, he dropped 72, 73 points, and then he goes for 54 points in another pro-am game, and then 52 in another. So he's been killing it in the pro-am scene. But then when you look at the Rico Hines runs, and again, keep in mind, maybe there's just some things that he's trying to work on. Maybe the coach is like, hey, in this run, I want to see you do more of, let's say, for example, be more of a playmaker. Or I want to see you defend more. Or I want to see you shoot that three more. So maybe because of that, it doesn't seem like he's showing a lot of the same elite game that he's showing in the pro-ams. But you also have to realize, ladies and gents, that the pro-am, the skill level that you see in the pro-am, and again, this is not a knock at the pro-am players there, but y'all are pro-am. And y'all are pro-am for a reason. And then now you come into the Rico Hines runs. These guys are pros. They're not pro-ams. They are pros. This is pro-level defense, pro-level offense, pro-tempo. Everything is pro. And you don't have any like small-time players coming in on these runs. No. I mean, yes, you may occasionally hear some names that you've never heard of. They could be pro-am, but for the most part, the competition and basically what Rico is looking for in these runs, it's high level. And from what I've seen in his performance, it's okay. It hasn't wowed me as the pro-am, as his performances in the pro-ams have. Again, I'm really rooting for this guy, and I really hope that he takes advantage of Rico Hines being there. He takes advantage of these runs. And from what I can decipher, based on his performance in the pro-ams and based on his performance in the runs, and again, this is just and of course, let's even take into consideration the previous seasons. He's maturing. He's starting to be into a more attack mode, and at least from what I see in the pro-ams, Rico Hines runs, totally different situation. But I feel like at least we can be happy with the fact that we don't have to send this guy over to the G League. I think he's more than good enough for the G League. He can definitely be in the NBA. He is a pro. The only thing is, I feel like he needs to just accept the role that the coach wants him to fill and, dedicate his 100% in that role to see more time, to see more minutes in the game. You got to impact the game in the ways that the coach wants you to impact. And then, of course, if you want to see more time, put in that little extra. If the coach says, hey, this game, I want you to be a lockdown defender, you be a lockdown defender, and then maybe throw in a little bonus, setting players up, setting your teammates up. Just if you do a little extra, even the coach is going to be confident in you, and of course, even the starting unit's going to be confident in you. And so, I feel like, yes, I feel like he's trying to do it. I say, just take it one game at a time. Some games, yes, you may see very little minutes, and some games you may see extensive minutes. And is it fair? No. Then again, you're not the only player in the league that has these kind of erratic minutes. There are some other players who have a lot of potential, just like you, who don't see those minutes. And now it seems like as if I'm really talking to Malachi here. But again, this is just for the viewers. And if Malachi's watching it, sure, why not? I'm not a pro. Again, what you got to do. But at least from what I see is that I see you have potential. And I believe the coach sees it too. Maybe the coach was a little too distracted with what the Raptors wanted, what the culture and the identity of the Raptors wanted for last season and going into the season, which is basically be long, be big, and you are not big, you are not long, but that doesn't mean that you can't impact the game the way the coach wants you to. And I believe Coach Nick Nurse made it very obvious how he wanted Malachi to impact the game, which is be a pesky defender. Defend the opposing guard and just get into his grill. Tire him out so that when it comes time, the other coach has got to make that tough decision. Do I leave this person in who is being just locked down, so now it's basically 4-on-5, or do I have to take this person out, put somebody in who could be a mismatch for him, and then he goes off offensively, or do I have to put in my starting guard now? And if I put in my starting guard is going to get tired. And then when Freddie comes back in, all fresh and rested up, guess what? Freddie's going to go off. So what do I got to do? And that's why Nurse wants him to be that lockdown defender. Just get into his grill. If you got to pick him up 3/4 of the court, pick him up 3/4 of the court. If that's what Nurse wants you to do, you do that. And I believe he tried doing it. But again, that's one thing he needs to work on. Is the defensive aspect of the game. That's what Freddie did. Freddie, he's not just a good spot-up shooter or a good three-point shooter, but at one point, he was even he was good at driving in the paint as well, and finishing. And of course, he's a good defender. For a guard of his size, the amount of deflections, how many times he rips the ball off the people, especially when they're driving in. He knows he's not going to get that block. What do? If you're a shorter player, you see where that ball is, and as soon as he picks up that ball, you keep your eye on that ball, and right before he's about to lay it in, rip it. That's how you make an impact on the defensive end. And I believe that's what Nurse wanted from him. He basically wants a Freddie 2.0 on the court. When Freddie's off and he's resting, he wants another Freddie on the court. Essentially, be another wrinkle on the opposing coach's head. The other thing Malachi's got to work on now is the spot-up shooting, and I see that. I see that he's definitely developed it, and obviously he still needs to continue putting on work, but that's like with everything else in the game. You just got to put in the work. And I believe he's going to improve on his spot-up shooting. And if he does that, again, he will see more minutes on the court, which means now he has to keep the defense honest. He's already working on his mid-range, and it's looking good. Now his deep ball, too, if he can be a little more consistent, maybe like high 30s even, great, he's good. He will stay on the court. And finally, the main point, he's just got to embrace his role. He's just got to accept the fact that Nurse wants him to do certain things, maybe even be Freddie 2.0. If that's not your game, guess what? You want to stay in this team, you got to be Freddie 2.0. And that's the sacrifice you have to make if you want to stay on the team. Ladies and gents, if you haven't already done so and you like the content, hit the thumbs up button. And of course, hit the comment section. Let me know, one of the questions that I would love to hear comments on is essentially, which system would Malachi Flynn thrive in? So again, which system do you think, which team do you think Malachi Flynn's current skill set thrive in? Of course, if you like the content, I have other content for your viewing pleasure, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you need to see all those other contents. Again, shout out to my subscribers and new viewers, old viewers. Thank you very much for checking out the content and the support. Lastly, before I head out, I would like to say Malachi Flynn would probably, if he were to go to Golden State, I think he would come out as a more mature and developed player. I feel like Golden State has a very good player development program, as well as I guess they could figure out how to utilize Malachi. Of course, and he's also surrounded by his teammates who are threats, which is what was going to not just improve his confidence, but it's also going to elevate his game. And yeah, he could definitely figure out his role and how he can impact the game for any team that he could play from there on out. But hey, that's just how I feel. This is not a knock on the player development staff of the Raptors organization, because I feel like they are probably easily top five in the league. That's all I got for today. Until next time, I'm out.